Hey, at the moment, After Effects is still the best software to create animations as well as prototype animations. Because of its dimensions of possibilities are next level, we can create animation of any difficult level with it. In this video, we will discuss important basics of working with After Effects. Let's begin. First, let's look at the program's interface. It contains a number of panels we can organize for convenience. For example, we can place them next to each other, drag them, or close them. You can save the placement done to work in this way of panel placement by saving them as a workspace through the menu window. Enter on Workspace, save as New Workspace. So the first panel that we will use when starting working in After Effects is Projects. It contains all of the composition external files and a few work elements from the current project. Compositions are like container. We draw, animate, and place other files in them. Let's create a new composition by clicking on this icon right here. Also, we can go on the composition and enter here on new composition. Also, we can do this with a Ctrl+N key shortcut. Here in the composition setting, type name, move on to the composition size, leave it this way only. Now the frames, we will use 30 frames per second. Now indicate the duration. These numbers are from left to right, hours, minute, second, frames. Press on OK. Next three panels that are important are Viewer, Timeline and Instrument. In Viewer, we will see everything we draw in the composition. In the bottom part of this panel, there are various settings of this display picture. The timeline panel is separated in two parts. All new layers will be placed one after the other in the left part of the panel. Right part with the time scale is necessary for animation. For now it's pretty simple. For drawing, we will need the instrument panel. On the right side panel, we can see the effects, alignment of object on composition, and all the other additions. We can open the other tools from the window over here. As you can see, there are so many options available. You can add them on your working display as per your needs. Let's begin to create shapes. Come up here to the tools menu and right here at the top, you can see the shape tools. Hold and enter on rectangle for now. So before we start to draw shape, I want to first come up here to the top of the interface, clicking on fill color and stroke, selecting these colors and the stroke I left as 0. Drag and make. If you want to make a perfect square, as you drag, hold the shift key, then you will got a perfect square. The center little dot is the anchor point. The anchor point is where everything is set from. So if it's not set to the center of the shape, it will give you some perhaps unexpected results. You can make sure that from there, enter on Edit, come to the Preferences, click on General, and then here check the box Center point in New Shape Layer is checked. If not, check it and enter on OK. It's really important to mention here at this point that before we begin to draw any new shape, we first need to make sure that the previous shape isn't selected in the timeline panel. If we don't do it this way, then when we draw a new shape, it's going to add it to that same shapes layer that we created. For now, we don't want to do that. So make sure you are clicked off your rectangle shape layer in the timeline panel. Now draw a round rectangle. Now click on the shape builder tool, select the ellipse and fill color of your choice. If you press the shift key while drawing with ellipse tool, you get a perfect circle shape. The next thing I'm gonna do here is to create a hexagon. So remember to click off the circle shape in timeline panel. Now select the polygon shape. When I draw the shape, a heptagon is formed. So if I press down arrow on the keyboard, I get a hexagonal shape. Also, if we press the space key on the keyboard, you can drag it while drawing the shape. So next we're gonna create a star shape. Deselect the layer and come back to the tools menu, shape builder tool, select star shape and click and drag on the composition. So after drawing the star shape, we can decrease the number of corners of the star just by pressing the down arrow key on the keyboard. We can also increase the number of corners by pressing the up arrow on the keyboard. Alright, we have created 5 basic shapes and now we are gonna make some more complex shapes. Let's first create a new composition the same way that we did the previous one. I am naming it as interesting shapes. Now click on the shape builder tool, select the star shape, make in the composition. You see the star shape appear. And just like the polygon tool, if I press the up or down arrows on the keyboard, I can toggle the number of points that a star has. I can press up to increase or press down to decrease the number. I have a new shape, but we need to make some more changes in it. So come down in the timeline panel, open the shape layer properties, enter on the polystar shape layer. After toggle down, there are more options. So I'm going to toggle down this polystar path and here we can see lots of options to customize. So for now we're gonna click on points and type in 20. For the inner radius type in 145 and the outer radius type 170. So now we have a different shape. Press U to close all the settings of layer in the timeline panel. So next we will create ninja star shape. So first, now create the star shaped by pressing the shift key on the keyboard. So next thing is come down here and open the shape layer properties and reveal the content settings. This time we're gonna click on the add button and select twist, and when you click on that, we will see a new twist setting available in the content settings. So toggle this down and set the twist angle to 60. We get the ninja shape star. Trust me, when we clear the fundamentals, we get to know a lot. Create a star shape with 6 points. Next come down, open the shape properties and reveal the content settings. Change the inner radius 90, outer radius to 40. Now the inner roundness to 120 and the outer one to 140. We get this interesting shape. So I will press the V to activate the selection. Okay, now the last one. Come back on the shape builder tool and again select the star shape. Make it with 6 points. Open the shape properties. Toggle this down until we see the full settings. So now change the points to 27. Set the inner radius to 120 and the outer radius to 170. the inner roundness to 255, outer one to 330, and that gives us the interesting roundness, right? You can increase the size of this, and if you want to see how to render them or save them in your computer, you can enter on here on the composition, add to render queue, give it a name, and then enter on render all or render. But for now I don't need to save it. Okay, our work is done for today. You have done a great work. Don't just leave here. You have to become a master. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.